Life has a way of testing us in moments we least expect. The book, Why Adversity Brings Hidden Blessings, is a soul-stirring reminder that what we often label as pain, failure, or loss can, in truth, be the divine classroom where our soul learns its most sacred lessons. It invites us to look deeper into the seasons of struggle, not with fear or resentment, but with quiet trust that something meaningful is unfolding beneath the surface. The author opens with a simple yet profound idea: adversity is not punishment, it is preparation. The storms that come our way are not there to destroy us but to awaken the strength, wisdom, and resilience that lie dormant within. In every challenge, there is a hidden teacher. When we learn to listen instead of resist, we begin to see that life's hardships are messengers, pointing us toward transformation. Consider the story of Maya, a woman whose comfortable life was shattered by the sudden loss of her job. For months, she felt broken and afraid. Yet, in that emptiness, she began to discover herself. Without the noise of constant busyness, she found her creativity returning. She started painting again, something she had not done since childhood. What began as an escape from pain became her new purpose. Today, she runs her own small art studio, inspiring others who've lost their way. Her story reminds us that sometimes losing everything is the first step toward finding who we truly are. The book gently teaches that adversity strips away illusions. We spend much of our lives clinging to comfort, control, and predictability, believing that peace lies in having everything go as planned. But when life removes those supports, we are forced to stand on what is real. We discover what truly matters: faith, love, character, and purpose. The pain of adversity purifies the soul, burning away the superficial so that the light within can shine more clearly. One of the most powerful lessons in the book comes from the metaphor of the seed. A seed must first be buried in darkness before it can break open and rise toward the light. The dirt that covers it isn't its end, it's its beginning. In the same way, when we find ourselves in seasons of darkness, it does not mean we are buried forever. It may simply mean we are being planted. Growth often begins in the unseen. The author beautifully weaves in the idea that pain expands our compassion. When you have known deep suffering, your heart becomes gentler. You stop judging others so quickly, because you understand what it means to struggle. You become a quiet source of comfort to those still walking through their own storms. This is one of the hidden blessings of adversity: it softens us. It humbles us. It teaches us that every human being carries unseen battles, and that love, more than judgment, is the only thing that truly heals. Throughout the book, we are reminded that every trial carries a choice, the choice to become bitter or better. Adversity can either harden the heart or open it. It can make us victims or victors. What determines the outcome is not the situation itself, but the story we tell ourselves about it. If we view pain as meaningless, we fall into despair. But if we trust that there is purpose even in our suffering, we rise from it with greater wisdom. This is the art of spiritual maturity: to see beyond appearances, to find grace in the ashes. One story in the book tells of a young man named Daniel who suffered a terrible accident that left him confined to a wheelchair. For a long time, he saw it as the end of his dreams. But through time, reflection, and the love of those around him, he came to realize that his body may have been limited, but his spirit was boundless. He began giving motivational talks, using his experience to inspire others to live with gratitude and courage. In helping others find meaning, he found his own. Daniel's journey illustrates that sometimes the blessing is not in what is restored, but in what is revealed. The soul, once awakened, never goes back to sleep. The book also explores the spiritual dimension of adversity, how it deepens our relationship with the divine. When everything is easy, faith remains shallow. But in moments of darkness, we begin to seek something greater than ourselves. We pray not for comfort, but for strength, not for answers, but for peace. And slowly, we begin to understand that the divine presence was never absent, it was carrying us all along. Every tear shed becomes a form of worship, every moment of surrender a bridge to inner freedom. There is a quiet wisdom that flows through the pages, reminding us that healing is not the absence of pain, but the transformation of it. We do not need to erase our scars, we need to understand them. The wounds we carry are not signs of weakness but of survival. Like the Japanese art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold, our cracks become the places where light enters. When we embrace our brokenness with love, we discover that the gold within us has always been there, waiting to shine through. The author invites readers to reflect on how adversity often realigns our lives toward our true calling. When doors close, we are forced to walk new paths. Many people only discover their real purpose after a painful turning point, a failure, a breakup, an illness, a betrayal. What felt like an ending was actually the beginning of a more authentic chapter. This truth repeats throughout history. Great leaders, artists, healers, and thinkers often emerge from deep valleys of struggle. The pressure that threatens to crush us is often the same pressure that shapes the diamond of our soul. Another insight from the book touches the heart deeply. Gratitude transforms adversity into wisdom. When we begin to thank life, not just for the joys, but for the trials, something shifts within us. Gratitude changes our vibration. It turns pain into purpose and chaos into clarity. When we stop asking, "Why me?" and begin asking, "What is this teaching me?" we step into empowerment. We become co-creators of our destiny rather than passive victims of circumstance. In its final chapters, the book reflects on the beauty of resilience. It reminds us that adversity is temporary, but the strength it builds is everlasting. Like the storm that nourishes the soil, challenges nourish our soul. Each time we rise after falling, we rewrite our story. We begin to see that the world doesn't need perfect people, it needs people who have known brokenness and yet still choose to love, to believe, and to hope. The closing message is one of peace, a gentle reminder that nothing in life is wasted. The pain that once made us cry will someday make us wise. The doors that closed on us were never meant to imprison us, they were redirections towards something greater. The tears we shed watered the seeds of our own transformation. Adversity, in its mysterious way, is the divine sculptor, shaping us into the beings we were always meant to become. When we finally look back, we realize that what once felt like the end was actually the moment when life began to rebuild us, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. And in that realization lies the greatest hidden blessing of all. We were never broken, we were only being remade.